y'all doing? It is Lexus Exodus, leading the Black Woman Exodus. I get so excited about being able to be in front of you guys. Thank you so much for viewing. If you like the content, please please subscribe. It is free, so please hit pause and hit that like button right now. Please share. Also, if you have any questions or any commentary or just want to reach out to me, please email me at lexusexoduschannel@gmail.com. How are y'all doing? I get so excited to talk to you guys, to fellowship with you guys. I really do enjoy doing this. I enjoy the engagement and I enjoy the conversations. And I'm really appreciative to have you listening to me today. So thank you so much for that. So I wanted to touch base with you guys. You all know that I am very vocal about my story. This is a newer channel, so if you have not heard it, I will give a brief summation of a very long story. So 6 years ago, before I met my current husband, I'm a swirler now. My first marriage, I was with a Black male, and I was in an awful relationship with a Dusty. And he was so nasty, so mean. He was broke. We experienced lots of wage garnishment. We ended up having to go bankrupt in my early 20s. Then to top it off, this man was a cheater. And he was abusive, which is like, pick a struggle, which you can't be all the bad things. Like, seriously, how you gonna be broke, abusive, and cheat? But that's who he was. And so as a result of that tumultuous relationship, I ended up being a homeless single mother by the age of 25, I believe I was. I was very young. I think that my son was probably about 3, so maybe 25, 26. I had him at 23, but anywho, fast forward, I left that situation and met my white husband years later, who is just amazing and is the exact opposite. He is kind, generous, loving, the most giving person that I've ever met in my entire life. Just the sweetest man in this world. He surprises me with flowers just because, to the point where I would get flowers at work and people would be like, "Oh, are these my I'm sorry flowers?" And I'd be like, "No, these are just thinking of you flowers." He's really sweet like that and thoughtful. Anywho, he also is the true definition of a high value man. He paid the down payment on our $300,000 house once we got engaged. He also paid the down payment on my Lexus. I told you guys in my previous relationship, I went bankrupt. Well, this man has helped me increase my credit score 200 points. So now my credit score is like a 780 the last time I checked. He also paid off my $65,000 in student loan debt from my bachelor's and master's. And like I said, he is just such a kind person, such a loving person, is faithful. And I get lots of questions about how I was able to meet him and how I successfully divested and leveled up. And so I just wanted to make this video so I can share with you how I met and attracted my high value husband. So there were a few things that I did. So the first thing that I did after leaving my awful relationship and deciding to be single for a while, I said, okay, well, if I'm going to date, then I'm going to have a list of qualities that are non-negotiables that are important to me. So that was the first thing I did. I listed out the qualities that were deal breakers that because they say that you can't control who you fall in love with. That's not completely true. You can control who you spend your time with and who you give the opportunity to fall in love and be in a relationship with you. And so I feel like as women, we need to be more selective and need to be more choosy. And I think by listing out the qualities that we want, that are deal breakers, that are non-negotiables, then that helps us filter out the bulk of the men that approach us and want to court us. So I can't remember exactly what my list was verbatim, but I know one of the main things I had was this person needs to be career oriented / business minded. So he needs to be someone who's ambitious and hardworking and is on task for achieving all the goals, professional goals that he's established. I also think I had that he was a Christian. And I've changed a lot and evolved a lot since then. But back then I was a big Bible beater Christian. And so that was really important to me. Also, I believe that I had that he needed to make a certain amount of money. And I can't remember what that dollar amount was, but it was like, yeah, I'm not going to entertain the McDonald's worker. I'm not going to entertain the warehouse worker. I'm not going to entertain Joe Schmo off the corner who's selling drugs. No, I need to date someone, especially as a single mother. I need to date someone who's able to bring a certain amount of resources to the table. And also, interesting enough, I had that no children on my list. I did not want to be in a situation with someone who had children because I knew how difficult it was to be a single mother. And I knew how much I struggled trying to parent my child. I did not want to have the burden of someone else's children. And some people might be critical of that, but I honestly, it's your personal preference. Whatever you choose and whatever is important to you, feel free to add that on your list. And that was one of my qualifications. And when I think about that list that I had, it was really easy for me to, every time that a man approached me, every time a man reached out to me or, asked me for my number, initial discussions I would have in the back of my mind, does he check all these bullet points on my list? If not, I'm sorry, I can't entertain you just because those were things that were important to me. And I had standards and I did not want to date or even entertain anyone who didn't meet those qualifications. So that's the first thing that I do. And I really think, and I've said this before, I think that when people ask Sierra what was her prayer when she found Russell Wilson, I really don't think it was a prayer. I think that she just started to have standards. So when you think about her dating history and think about her dating 50 Cent, who is a womanizer, who disrespects women on publicly in real life and in his music, and who has a child that hates him and child's mother who has a lot of disdain for him. And then also Sierra dated Bow Wow, for God's sake. She also dated Future with 10 baby moms. And I think she became number 10. You know what I mean? Like, I think that what she did, instead of just a prayer, I think what she did is decided to establish standards and saw what she didn't like and what she didn't want in a man, in a relationship. And so first established standards and then refused to entertain anyone who didn't meet those standards. So that's the first thing I would recommend is list what is important to you, what's deal breakers, and what is just establish your standards, black and white standards of what you're looking for in a male. Also, second one, and this is probably my biggest one, highest recommendation, is to improve yourself intellectually. So what do I mean by that? So I mean, work on yourself, focus on your education, focus on establishing yourself professionally. And I know that in the divesting community particularly, there's a lot of conversations about men not valuing women's professions and not caring about their careers. And not in the divestment community, I'm sorry, in the manosphere. So I know Kevin Samuels likes to say a lot, men don't care. They don't care about what you do for a living. They don't care about things like that. That's what women do. And, I'd agree, but just to a certain extent. I do think that, obviously, high value men aren't in your pocketbooks. They're not gold diggers. So they're not concerned about how much money you make. But true value men have, based on my experience, have not only high incomes, but they also have high integrity, high levels of integrity. So listen to what I just said. Take notes because I think that's a mouthful that we really need to understand. Women, you want men with high incomes and high integrity. Okay? So true high value men with integrity and with character, they're not looking for the blonde bimbo with the fake boobs that's nice to look at but has no substance. They're just not. So stop listening to people like Kevin Samuels and people in the manosphere and these other fools that I know you guys like to get dating advice from. Athletes, rappers, and these dumb hood celebrities who are dim-witted and may have a lot of money but have awful characters. They want that. Yeah, they do. And they'll pass around the same botched body IG models, these Kylie Jenner replicas walking around looking like Cornish hens with the fake bodies, big old boobs that don't match the legs. The Donald Trumps of the world, Kanye West of the world will look for that and will want that. Those folks, those men who have high incomes and have very superficial relationships with blonde bimbos, they make a lot of money, but they're broke when it comes to character. And you do not want that Black woman. And I don't want to misspeak. So maybe you do. I shouldn't assume. If you're on my channel, though, I'm assuming that you are a certain caliber of woman who you don't want to be miserably married. You don't want to be one of these women who are mistreated but stick around because of pocketbooks, because you're with men that have money. No, I'm assuming you want men with money and with a little bit of common sense and with integrity along with high incomes. So, so true high value men are not looking for that kind of superficial IG run of the mill girl. They're looking for a little bit more substance. So what I thought about just to illustrate my point is true high value men with character and with hard work ethics with very high income. So let's think of Jeff Bezos. So let's look at his wife, ex-wife, I should say. I'm sorry. They're no longer married now, but his ex-wife was a novelist and she was Princeton educated. So a really, really smart girl. And I'll share a picture of what she looks like. Really smart girl, not what you think of when you think of like cover girl, Playboy model. A smart girl with substance. Someone that men can hold a conversation with. That's what true high value men value. Let's look at Elon Musk, who was just announced as the highest earning person in the world, the most wealthiest man in the world. His wife was also an author, coincidentally, and she had an English degree. So educated, articulate, was a wordsmith, smart. So that's what he wanted and what he chose in a wife. Not this bleach blonde, fake boobs, always under the knife type of girl. No, he wanted someone with substance. Let's think about Mark Zuckerberg, so who founded Facebook. His wife is a pediatrician. Do you get what I'm saying? And not anybody who you would see in the middle of a magazine, but just a really, really smart girl with substance and who can hold a conversation. So, yeah, when we think of high value men, true high value men with character and to make high incomes, they tend to want wives with substance, not just a pretty thing to look at. They don't want a supermodel that's dumber than a box of rocks. No, Donald Trump wants that, but look at his character, so that makes sense. So I would recommend Black women, if you're looking for a high value man and want to attract a high value man, I would recommend that you improve yourself, become like the women that these true high value men marry. Educate yourself, arm yourself. I have a BA and an MS. I've also established a lucrative career in management and pharmacy. I'm in a directorial role at my company. And I'm not saying to do that. I'm not saying to do that because I know that that sets the bar really high. And I don't think that that's necessary to attract a high value man. But I do think that you should do something because Brad is not coming to the hood to save you from Blackistan while you're just sitting in your bullshit. No, that's not attractive. Nobody wants that. I think that you have to strive to meet him where he's at. And all my credentials I got, I'll say just with the caveat, I got that because Black women tend to have no choice but to overexcel in Blackistan. And my first marriage was so bad. And I had a derelict Daquan that I was married to. And I knew that I had no choice but to overexcel and to be super successful in corporate America and to be the man that y'all know the men in our community can't be. And that was before divesting. So I had no choice but to climb up the corporate ladder back then and to take care of myself because I had a son and I had no support. So I was desperately focused on my career. But that's not something that you guys have to do. I'm not saying overexcel or, have the claws out in corporate America. All I'm saying is don't just sit on your ass all day, but be interesting, improve yourself. Be the person that you want your son to grow up and marry. Be smart. Be a full person. Be a complete person. Like I said, be interesting. Be educated. Be cultured. Men like women who are worldly, who are well-read, who travel, who have hobbies. Learn a new language. Do something. Educate yourselves. Have a profession that you're passionate about, that's interesting to hold a conversation about. And I think that we spoke about Kevin Samuels briefly. I think that woman that he berated about wanting a six-figure man is a perfect example of someone who would do well as a swirler and dating interracially because she has a successful business, a successful pet grooming business. Y'all know that white people love their dogs. And I think that a Brad would look at her, a high-value Brad, and would say, oh my gosh, you're phenomenal, you're smart, you're successful, you're pretty, and you're a pet lover. Those are the type of Black women that Brad loved to date. So, like I said, improve yourself. That's probably the biggest thing I would say for Black women who are trying to attract high value men in different cultures. Improve yourself and have some substance. Also, third thing, work out, eat right. Take care of yourself. And I know that this is easier said than done, but it's something that's important, one, not just to attract a man, but just you should be taking care of yourself in general because our health is wealth, right? And you want to be good to your body. It's your temple. You want to take care of it and be good to it because if you are, it'll be good back to you. But yeah, if you're interested in divesting and dating multiculturally, then I would say take care of your body. And we know that in other cultures, particularly white cultures, they like smaller women. And I'm not going to front. Based on my experience, they also like TNA. And Google that if you don't know. I'm trying to be a little bit not as crass. But, they like that, but they also like smaller women, fitter women. So I would encourage you guys to focus on having a healthy BMI and staying active just because that'll be good for yourself and also will pay off when it comes to dating and divesting. And I'm not saying to be a skinny mini. You don't need to be bone thin model, but practice self-care. Me personally, I'm 5'3", 145 pounds. When I met my husband, I was 135 pounds. So, and he liked that. And I also have I have a 29-inch waist and big boobs. So I got a breast reduction. And Brad's like that. So, be good to yourself. Have a good body. Make yourself attractive and appealing. And you'll have more success when it comes to divesting and when it comes to attracting high-value men. Also, I would say be stylish. be trendy, turn heads. So accentuate your positive qualities when dating to attract high value men. So like I said, I'm very, very curvy. So I have a really small waist, 29-inch waist. So when I was dating, I would wear crop tops and expose a little midriff here and there. And I remember one time when I was with my husband, someone saying, how did he get her? When I was with my white husband, it was a black male who said that, which I was like rolling my eyes, like, because he treated me right and he's a good man and he's a protector and provider. That's how he got me, dummy. Anywho, but I focused really, put a lot of effort and time in my appearance. I would be breathtaking, honestly, and this is not me just being biased, but I would go to the hair salon, go to the nail salon, make sure that my makeup was meticulous, have a full face before each of our dates. I wanted the men that I was dating to be smitten with me. And, men are visual people. So I wanted them to be charmed, and he was, and a year later put a ring on it. So I would encourage you guys to invest in your appearance and look good when you're dating, and that will help you attract higher quality men. So on the opposite end, so I talked a lot about making sure that you're attentive to your appearance and that you're focusing on your appearance and you're making sure that you look good when you're dating to attract high quality men. So this might sound a little bit contradictory, but my next recommendation, how I attracted my high value, high quality husband, is I wasn't so focused on men's appearance, their exterior when I was dating. So, especially as you age. So I think that when we're young and dumb, it's easy to get hung up on appearances and not really focus on the important things because you're young and dumb and you don't know any better and you're just dating what looks good. But I would say what worked really well for me is I focused on who added value to my life. So who truly was able to benefit my life and my situation. And I think that's important. And like I said, this might sound contradictory because I said that it's important as a woman to focus on your appearance and put a lot of time and attention and invest a lot of resources in making sure that you look good when you're dating. But that's because men are really visual and like women who look good. Women, on the other hand, want to be provided and protected. So that should be your priority, not a six-pack. So you want to focus on who's the best protector and provider, and that's it. And whatever package that comes in, that doesn't matter. You shouldn't be focused or worried about color, shape, size. You should be focused on who treats you well and who's able to add the most value to your life. Next tip I would give on how I met my high value, high income earning husband. Date openly. So don't be exclusive to anyone. So this doesn't mean just be a slut or be promiscuous. It just means date openly, date several people at a time, and limit your time with the men that you're seeing. Make them miss you. And when I thought about it and reflected, when I was dating my husband, when we first met, I probably only saw him maybe about twice a month. And that made him become even more smitten with me and made him fall more in love with me. So make yourself unavailable and date other people at once. Have fun. Also, another really important tip that I would give to Black women looking for high value men, control your fertility. And I probably should have put this at the top of the list because this is one of the biggest mistakes that I see Black women making is having children before marriage. Do not do that. Do not have children without changing your last name first. Seriously. And I watched Judge Lynn Toller on Divorce Court. She used to be on there. Now she's not, and so I don't like it anymore. But I used to watch it because she dropped a lot of gems and gave a lot of wisdom. And I remember vividly one of the things she would say is, before having children with whoever you're with, you need to date them for years and watch them. Watch them. Still don't have children, just watch them. And then make them court you and still just watch them. Watch them closely, see what they're doing, making sure that they're hardworking, making sure that they treat you right, making sure that they're good people. Then you can get engaged, but still watch them. And then before even thinking about having children, you still watch them, then you can get married. Then even after you get married, you still watch them for a little bit longer. Just vet out their character, vet out who they are. Make sure that they'll be good fathers. Be very, 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 very careful about who you decide to intermingle your DNA with. And that probably is the biggest advice that I could give to Black women, and the biggest, most common mistake that I see, because when you start to have children, it makes life a lot more challenging when it's with the wrong person. And it makes it extremely more challenging to attract a high value man, with the more baggage that you have. So control your fertility and be very, very careful about who you have children with, and do not have children with anyone unless they put a ring on it. And I'm not even, let me be clear, because I don't want to mistake that with, just getting engaged. No, even after they put a ring on it and get engaged, wait until you're married, and about a good year at least after the wedding date, to start having children. Trust me, it will make your life so much easier, because having children with the wrong person, I'm telling you, they say that you have to deal with the BS for 18 years. The reality is you have to deal with that BS until one of you are in the grave, because you're still linked to that other person that you've had children with for the rest of your life. Okay, so next tip, be open to online dating. I met my husband online. And I know that this is still weird for a lot of Black women. We like to, say, oh, well, I remember the Craigslist killer who used to meet women and kill them, and, tell all these horror stories about things going awry. You can be safe, but still, online date, please meet people online. We're in the 21st century, guys. So a decade ago, we only met people in grocery stores or while we were at the gym, while we were out and about. You're limiting your options if that's how you meet men in 2021. Now you have access to the entire globe of men, different cultures, different communities, different ethnicities. Take advantage of it. So now you can create a profile, list your likes and dislikes and your preferences. Then you can even only allow men to contact you who meet those standards. So, it's been so long since I had dated online, but I remember some even allowing you to filter different men on their income and on their professions. And it's crazy. It's so easy. You can meet the man of your dreams with the click of the button. You have so many more options and are able to access people a lot more easily now. And I remember back then when I did meet men in my early 20s at the grocery store or on the street, they were trash. They were trash because we know culturally Brads are not aggressive like Black men. Black men would come up and, catcall you, look at that ass, and just be really aggressive and say nasty, disgusting things, complimenting, your booty, and being way too assertive. Online dating allows you to have access to the world and allows you to be more selective about dating. You don't have to worry about things like that. So I would encourage you to online date. And be safe too. No one's saying to, meet someone at a hotel that you met yesterday and exchange a few texts with. No, you can still be careful, but still be open to meeting people online, because that is just the century that we live in. We are doing school online, working online, for God's sakes. The whole world is still operating in the midst of the pandemic because of the internet. So why not be open to meeting people online as well? So there you have it. Those are the tips that I have that I utilize to attract my high value non-Black husband. I encourage you guys to incorporate the same Let me know your thoughts about that. Do you have different tips that work well for you or different ideas? If you do, please feel free to leave those in the comments below. I appreciate you guys listening. Until next time, talk to you later. Bye.